Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Counselor's Couch 101. I'm Jim Stump, and if you'd like to communicate with us, you can leave a comment down below or you can send us an email at counselorscouch101 at mail.com. Counselorscouch101 at mail.com. I mentioned previously that I'm working on a project and that several of the viewers here have offered to assist in that project. And part of the project includes a presentation of what I'll call metaphysics, right? I talk to people all the time, and just about everyone tells me I'm spiritual but not religious, right? And I don't push religion on anyone. I think it probably could be a good idea for a lot of people. I think it would help the country to have some sort of a value system that we all agree to so we can all get along and be amicable toward one another. But I don't push religion on anybody. Um, but the idea of the metaphysical. Now, I happen to believe there's something beyond what we can see. And the reason I believe it is because in my time over many years, I've had some extremely strange experiences. Now, I rarely ever describe these experiences to people because they start to think that you're crazy or, there's something wrong with you, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing of it is, when you go through it, when you go through the experiences, you know the experience was real. There's something going on out there, right? Something beyond what we can see with our eyes. Now, I've said this to you before, and I apologize to all of you when I repeat my stories, but I only have so many stories in my head. But I think of the Aborigines in Australia. Aborigines have been known, it's been tested and proven, they can communicate with thought waves across thousands of miles. They can send a message 1,100 miles, and someone back at the ranch, so to speak, can receive it, and it's been tested by scientists. They've checked it out. It sort of suggests to me that we all have more, that is to say, the human brain, the human body has more potential than we're aware of right now. Now, that's just my theory. I haven't proved anything. But there have been governments that have looked into such things as distance viewing, right? They say, take your mind, project your mind out to some place. They'll give them a destination and they'll say, report back what you see, right? Or maybe they'll draw a picture or something. And they found that a lot of people can do this. And for the people who can do it, the question is, how do they do it, right? I think they're developing certain abilities of the brain, of the mind, to send out ideas or to send out a sort of a viewing apparatus that allows them to see it. If you'd like some more information on this and get some corroboration other than what I'm telling you right here now, because my experience is extremely limited, you can look for a man named Bruce Lipton on YouTube. He has many, many free videos and podcasts. You can go in here and have what he has to say about it. Mr. Lipton is a biochemical engineer. He studied for decades and he taught medical doctors for generations, right? What he is learning about material and the process of matter, live matter, something being live and having capabilities. He can explain it better than I can. But the idea is, the reason I'm bringing this up now is because I've often been asked, and I was asked just recently, how can I listen to all these problems all week long, right? How can I listen to all this negativity and not lose my mind or want to tear my hair out and go screaming down the road, right? Well, let me back up another step. Also, I get this question from other counselors that I talk to. It's interesting, but I've got a handful of counselors that call in every week, and we exchange ideas and we work on different things together. We discuss our work and the people we're working with, and these things come up. And they say, I'm really, really mad. I'm really in a bad place because I had to sit with all this negativity all week. And I say, I understand how that can be. And they say, how do you cope with it? And I say, I take a bigger view. That's the only way I can cope with all the negativity that flows in all week long. What is that bigger view? I I digress one more time. I often ask people, and I think I've asked you here, what is your philosophy of life, right? I'm not asking you if you believe in a religion or if you believe in heaven or hell, if you believe in Jesus Christ or Buddha or Muhammad. Um, I'm saying, what do you think? What do you think it's all about? And if you think there's something beyond what we can see, that's the bigger box that I look at. Now, like I said, I've had some really strange experiences in my life. Not many, but enough to convince me that there's something going on. If there's something outside of this physical plane that we're going to, like people say, heaven and hell. By the way, I like to mess with people who believe in heaven and hell. They say, you know, they say there is no afterlife, right? And I say, okay, so you don't believe in heaven and hell? And they go, well, I believe in heaven and hell, of course. And I say, well, that's afterlife, right? So the box is bigger. If you believe in heaven and hell, the box is bigger than what we can see. We're going somewhere. We're going to a better place, they tell us. They say we're going to see our loved ones and our family again. So there must be some place where that exists, and it exists outside of this. And so I'm thinking it's a bigger box, right? So back to all this negativity. When you sit, I sit with, and other counselors I talk to, they sit with the very bad people. I've talked to gang members who have shot at each other and shot cops and been in prison and come out again and talk about all the fights they have and the fist fights in prison and outside and all the negativity in the world. I've talked with hundreds of drug addicts over the years trying to help people get out of that kind of a lifestyle. Talk to negative people, talk to arsonists, people who burn buildings down, talk to people who abuse women and think they have a right to it. And you look at all of this, and there are sometimes when I don't have the capacity to think friendly of them. It's rare, but it has happened that some people I just can't get close to them, and I have to ask them to go talk to someone else. But with most people, I think we are all in the process of becoming, right? We are not the same person today that we were yesterday, and certainly not the person we were 10 years ago. We're constantly developing. We're moving towards something. And for most people, we're sort of improving as we go, right? We're becoming better human beings, more helpful to our fellow humans, right? We're getting better as we go. So I look at the people I'm talking to and I'm thinking outside the box. I'm saying, okay, this person's done some really bad things and they're telling me all this negativity right now. And I say, what is that all about? Well, maybe they are learning lessons on their way to becoming a better person. And I look at it that way. I think outside the box. This person and myself and everybody else has come here and we're going to go back to someplace else. And what's the purpose of it? What's the point? Well, maybe the point is to have experiences that allow us to grow in understanding, which we take back to wherever we're going. Now, if that's not true, then that's fine with me because it helps me get through the day and it helps me do the work, right? It helps me to sit with a lot of negativity all week long if I take a bit bigger view of it. Why is this person doing these negative things? Isn't it obvious that what they're talking about and their actions and so forth, aren't they aware that it hurts other people? And why would they want to do that when it does not benefit themselves? Why are they doing it? And we talk about those sorts of things, and I look at them as a person in the making. That is to say, the person they're going to be 10 years from now. They're making that person now. We're going through this kind of an experience in order to come out as a better person on the other side. And when I look at folks like that, and I talk to them with that in mind, that we're going to be better people down the line, then I can sit with what's happening. Hopefully we all learn from the experiences. I've said it before, I keep saying it here. Counselors learn a lot more from their people they talk with than the people who we talk with get from us. We talk to so many people, we're getting all this input and it improves our lives. We get a greater understanding of all that is, right? And I look at these things and I try to think outside the box, think metaphysically a little bit and say, why are we doing these terrible things? What's the point of it? And if you believe in a higher power, supreme being, or the universe or something like that, there must be a point to it. There must be a reason for it and a benefit to it. And that's the way I think of it. And that's how I can sit with negativity all week long. Sometimes it does affect me, I'll admit it. sometimes it catches up with me in the way that it just puts me in a mood that I'm not happy with. But I try to take the weekends off to work on other projects like the one I'm working on now, and which includes metaphysics, just as an idea. It's not a dissertation on the spiritual or the metaphysical. It's just an idea that's included in the project. So I work on those kinds of things. I take my mind off of what I went through the week and clear my mind for a while, and then go back to it with the understanding that we're helping people in their own process and becoming better human beings. So anyway, I hope that wasn't too boring for you, but that's kind of how I look at it. You know, and remember the idea of, in counseling, they have a phrase called age-appropriate behavior. It's usually applied to young children, right? They say that he's 3 years old, that's age-appropriate behavior for 3 years old. Or he's 6, or she's 6, that's age-appropriate for 6. At 12, they start flirting with boys and girls, and that's age-appropriate, right? I look at folks and I say, okay, he's 40. That's age-appropriate behavior for someone in his circumstances at the age of 40. It's age-appropriate for that. It won't be appropriate in 10 years maybe, or won't be appropriate in 20 years, but for now, it's probably the right way to think. He's trying to be generative. He's trying to pay for a house and raise a family. He's working on it, and that's age-appropriate for that time, see? So I look at all those sorts of inputs on what a person is dealing with, and that's how I cope with counseling all week long. Maybe some of us out there will do that kind of use that kind of a process when we're working with people in our lives, with our friends and neighbors and coworkers and church members, etc. If we sort of take that view of them, we might get along a little bit better and help people to become the better person that they're going to become. Anyway, metaphysics. Look into it. Bruce Lipton is a good place to start. He'll start talking to you about the power of the brain and the cells that are alive, right, that we don't normally think of, and the capability of cells that are alive. Bruce Lipton, YouTube. Thanks for stopping by. I look forward to talking to you next time. Have a blessed day.